Good afternoon. Welcome to Eldritch Stronghold. I'm Mitchell, and we're continuing with the Murder at Karloff Manor spoiler season. We got about 10 or so to go over today. We got a couple interesting ones, and let's get into them. Alright, first one that pops up today is Yaris, the Roar of the Gods. For 2 colorless, a red and a green. You get a legendary creature, 4/4 Centaur Druid. Other creatures you control have haste. Whenever one or more face-down creatures you control deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card. And whenever a face-down creature you control dies, return it to the battlefield face-down under its owner's control. If it's a permanent card, then turn it face up. This is a pretty interesting Gruul commander. We've been getting a lot of interesting Gruul commanders. The Mole God's pretty cool, but that runs around extra combats, and that's red and green's thing usually. This one seems to work around the face down cards you can get with the disguise or the cloak or the various other reasons. And then whenever a face down creature you control dies, you return to the battlefield face down under its owner's control. If it's a permanent card, then turn it face up. It's pretty interesting. I like that. Next card is Disturbing Explosion. 2 colorless, a blue and a red for a sorcery. You draw 2 cards, then you may discard 2 cards. When you do, Disturbing Explosion deals X damage to each creature, where X is equal to the highest mana value among these cards. It's pretty cool. Board wiping, is it? 2 for 4 mana. It is sorcery speed. You just draw 2 cards for 2 mana, or you can draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards, then wipe the board. I like that. Next one is Reenact the Crime. For 1 colorless and 3 blue. You get an instant speed, exile target non-land card in a graveyard that was put there from anywhere this turn. Copy it, and you may cast a copy without paying its mana cost. The card gets discarded, destroyed, gets milled, whatever it may be. You can cast a copy of it, and this works for any graveyard. So if you like one of your opponent's creatures and they die or go to the graveyard, 4 mana and it's all yours. I definitely have a few decks I'm going to put this in for sure. Then we have Officious Interrogation. 1 white, 1 blue for an instant. This spell costs 1 white and 1 blue more to cast for each target beyond the first. Choose any number of target players. Investigate X times, where X is the total number of creatures those players control. You can create a lot of clues with it. That equals up to a lot of drawing cards, or if your deck runs around a number of artifacts you have, like you have constructs and stuff, this card works wonders for that kind of stuff. For our next card, it looks like Krinko's got a new toy. This is Krinko's Buzz Crusher. 2 colorless and 2 red for a 4/4 artifact creature, Insectopter, flying trample. When Krinko's Buzz Crusher enters the battlefield, for each player, destroy up to 1 non-basic land that player controls. For each land destroyed this way, its controller may search their library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. This is a cool artifact. 4/4 flying tramples, a nice body and some evasion, and it entered the battlefield. There's usually a lot of recursion in artifact decks, so you'll probably get this over and over. Somebody's always going to have a utility land that's probably busted, like Rogue's Passage. That one's incredibly good. And this one also is not going to make people that mad at you, because at least they're going to be able to get another land back, so you're not shorting them on any mana. So I like this guy. Moving along, we have Illicit Masquerade. This one has pretty cool artwork. 3 colorless, 1 black for an enchantment that has flash. When Illicit Masquerade enters battlefield, put a counterfeit counter on each creature you control. Whenever a creature you control with a counterfeit counter on it dies, exile and return it. Then return up to 1 target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. I thought it was going to say return the creature with the counterfeit counter, but this kind of reads, if this is translated right, it kind of reads like the creature with the counter dies, you exile it, and then you return any creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. And with it having flash, if one of your creatures, actually all your creatures about to die, like from a board wipe, you can flash this thing, give them all the counterfeit counters. They all die, you exile them, and then bring stuff back. This is really cool. I like this on an enchantment. Next card is Hide in Plain Sight. 3 colorless and a green for a sorcery. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. Cloak 2 of them and put the rest on the bottom in a random order. Pay 4. Look at top 5. You get to put 2 of them creatures. I'm assuming you pick creatures if you can, so that way you can flip them up. Put them face down on the battlefield as 2/2s. More cards to go along with the cloaking mechanic in this set. It's kind of like card advantage, I guess. You are looking at the top 5, putting 2 of them on the battlefield, so you're not playing them, but you can flip them face up. So it's cool card advantage. I really like this set. It has cool cards and the flavor is pretty spot on. Alright, moving on. We have Audience with Tristani. 2 colorless and a green for a sorcery. You create a 0/1 green plant creature token, then draw a card equal to the number of differently named creature tokens you control. Drawing green's always good. You make a lot of tokens in green. As long as it's not heavy on the tribal, you'll draw a few cards from this. And I actually really like the showcase art. It's pretty sweet looking. Couple more to go. Ansrag Rampage. 3 colorless and 2 red for sorcery. Destroy our artifacts you don't control. Then exile the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of artifacts that were put into the graveyard from the battlefield this turn. You may put a creature card exiled this way onto the battlefield against haste, return to the hand at the beginning and end step. It's a pretty gnarly design. For 5 mana, you're getting the overloaded side Vandal Blast, so that's already good. Then for each of them, you get to exile the top card of your library for how many that we put in the graveyard this turn, and then you may put a creature card exile this way onto the battlefield. So any creature you get, Curry Hoof, no matter the mana cost, you're going to be able to put it on the battlefield and swing it with it that turn. You could even get more value out of the creature depending if it has like if it has an attack on attack trigger or something. Last card of the night, Ambitious Falcon. 1 colorless, 2 blue for an artifact creature bird with flying. It's a 1/4. Whenever Ambitious Falcon attacks, gain control of target permanent you own but don't control. You can disguise it for 2. When Ambitious Falcon is turned face up, target opponent gains control of any number of target permanents you own and draw that many cards. Very interesting card. I could see this. I mean, you attack, you gain control. This is very weird, but I like it. I'm down for it. Well, yep, that's it for today for the spoilers. I think there's like a few more, like 10 more left to be spoiled. I'm not sure how many there are mythics and rares that we'll go over. Now, I don't know if I'm for sure going to do this because I'm kind of busy for the upcoming week, but I'm going to try to do either this time or maybe the next couple spoiler seasons. I'm going to try to do a video where I go over what I think about this set overall, which cards I like, which ones I see doing the best, maybe even going over some of the commons and uncommons that fit one of them categories as well. Alrighty guys, you have a good night and I'll catch you next time.